Welcome back to All Chiefed Up. I am Steve and I'm here with Mike. Today we're going to be updating you a little bit about camp, maybe some signings, depth signings at the tackle position and defensive end. We're also going to be talking about some injury updates. Make sure that you like this video. You hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts. So hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, tell your family, tell all Chiefs fans to come check us out over here on YouTube.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say congrats to see Cole back. I caught a live video of him tonight. You guys will be seeing this tomorrow. So yeah, how about those Chiefs? Get over there and subscribe to him if you haven't. Hopefully he's back, he's healthy, he's ready to go. We kind of missed him for a few days. But yeah, we got some camp news. We're gonna start with Monday's camp. It was the last camp for the rookies, the quarterbacks. A few notes on it. They had to move it inside due to weather. Only 29 players participated. It was a really fast practice. The quarterbacks, Henny, Mahomes, didn't practice. Fortson got the day off. There was a few good plays here and there. They did some 7-on-7. The offensive standouts was Moore and Vital, Sky Moore and Vital, the tight end. The defensive standout for the day was Josh Williams. And in 7-on-7 drills, there was 4 touchdowns. That was Sky Moore, Vital, Jerry and Ely with another touchdown in 7-on-7, and Tyron Fleet Davis, the undrafted free agent out of Maryland, the running back.
I'm excited to hear that Josh Williams is showing out because I think he's got a lot of potential. And we were kind of worried about that transition from his Division II school over to the NFL. So hopefully that'll work out good. That'd be a great addition in our cornerbacks room. Also, Jaron Ely scoring another touchdown. That's good news as well. Maybe he slides into this team playing a slot or playing a running back position. Speaking of, there are some openings there because we had Justin Ross, who has been placed on the IR. He will not play this year. And I know that bums a lot of Chiefs fans out because you guys had super high hopes, but we've been trying to tell you, let's take it down a little bit because we know, he's very injury prone. He's got a lot of issues. So you can see how surprised I was when I heard that he was on the IR for the year in my face.
Well, yeah, we kind of predicted this, didn't we? We kind of said it's a very good possibility he goes on IR. It was just a few videos ago, actually, we said that when asked how much he would play. So, yeah, it was one of those things we kind of seen coming. Again, I don't know if they plan on to keep him in the IR for the whole year. Technically, he only has to miss 4 games, right? I'm not for sure how that works exactly.
It says he's not going to play this season. They said he's not going to play this season.
I mean, it's probably for the best. He needs to rehab. He needs to get healthy. He still needs to learn the playbook. I think it does. Look at Cornell Powell coming back this year after a year on the practice squad and what he looks like. It's only gonna help Justin Ross for real.
Yeah, so no big surprise. And then also Clyde, another not surprise is Clyde being on the PUP list.
Dude,
dude's always hurt. He's always hurt.
No surprise with this guy. Like we said, this was the year he's got to come out and he's got to take this starting job because Chiefs Kingdom has been on Clyde's butt. Yeah. And so yeah, like this was his year. And okay, so Nate Taylor did come out today and tweeted, and he said it's nothing serious. He could be taken off in a few days. So people are speculating, did he tweak a hamstring in his his pre-workouts? Was he, what is it? We don't really know what it is. They're acting like it's not serious. But let's be completely honest. Clyde has got to stay healthy. That's his number one knock. And here we are before camp even starts today, and he's not on the field. So
yeah, that's a huge bummer, man. That's a huge bummer because he's got to be RB1 and everybody was expecting it. But I mean, he keeps doing this to himself, man. He's got to stay on the field. He's got to produce because people are on him. Like everyone's ready to get rid of Clyde now. So I actually think that gives Isaiah Pacheco a huge chance at having a lot of time this year if Clyde stays, getting injured and off for this and that like he always does. And like I was saying, I kind of blended it in. Jerry and Ely showing out in camp, if he continues to do that, and you got Justin Ross, who's not going to be on this team now, and you also have Clyde, who's having injury problems as well, does that open up a spot where he could come in and maybe take that slot receiver position or a running back position and actually make the team?
We've been saying that he is that hybrid wide receiver running back, and now you got one off each side that is showing a little injury proneness,
right?
And he could step in and fill that gap.
Yeah, because think about it. If they say they put him on the team as a wide receiver at that slot position, If Clyde were to go out or there were to be multiple injuries in the running back room, then guess what? He slides over to running back when we need him. So having that versatility is very much playing in his favor right now, as well as his good performance during camp.
Another thing about this Clyde thing, it got tweeted out, and of course, everybody on Twitter's got a reaction. They got a smart comment about it. But
Of
the one I
course.
thought was hilarious, I'll have you throw it on the screen. It's Mark with AC says he's physically unable to be a good player. Talking about the pup list, physically unable to perform. And I was cracking up. I was like, dude, Chiefs Kingdom is going to butcher this guy. Like Clyde, this is his year to come in and prove something. And boy, this is not a good start, not a good look for Clyde. And I'm rooting for Clyde. I want him to do something, but he has
That's
got
the
to get
thing.
healthy.
I've been having Clyde's back this whole time, and it's just like I'm even getting to the point where it's like, is it even worth it anymore? Like, what's this guy doing?
In your opinion, who takes the in camp? Of course, by the time this goes live, they will probably practice today. But who do you think takes the number one running back snaps? Do you think it's going to be Jones, or do you think it's going to be McKinnon or dark horse Pacheco? I don't think Pacheco takes number ones right off, but
That's a good question. I think that Rojo probably gets the nod on that just off pure experience, but I wouldn't be surprised if Clyde misses a lot of time. Rojo's going to get those number one snaps initially. But I think they would probably skip right over Jerick McKinnon and just go ahead and give the young guy a shot and see what he can do. I think Pacheco could get a lot of good looks if Clyde were to be out with injury, because I think Pacheco is going to get a lot of time anyways, because I think he's going to show out in camp. I think people are going to realize that he's totally capable playing in the NFL, and he just offers so much. He's young. They might go ahead and try to get him in the mix.
So, last question. This little running back situation. A lot of people were saying they didn't even know if Rojo was a lock to make the team. They thought that maybe he could be on the cusp with some of our young talent. But if Clyde is out for more than a week, 2 weeks, or this is a persistent problem, that pretty much guarantees a roster spot for Rojo, does it not?
I think he has a guaranteed roster spot anyway. I think that's why Rojo was signed. It's because um, Clyde, with his past injury history and everything, there's a big question mark around Clyde. So I think Rojo signing was just an insurance plan, because I don't think that even the Chiefs organization has 100% faith in Clyde at this point. So I think maybe that Rojo signing was just a little bit of insurance in that department.
So if Clyde doesn't get back, and this turns out to not be just a small minor injury, and he's off and on all preseason, is it time to pull the trigger on him and get something out of him while he's got a little bit of value, and try to maybe use that in a trade to get a defensive end such as a Robert Quinn or somebody? Like, I feel like it's got to be time.
I would say yes, but I honestly don't think Clyde has much value right now. I don't think you would get a whole lot for him.
Well, we had a few signings today in the past few days. We've signed two offensive tackles. Evan Sazarek, I think I don't know how you pronounce it. That's a crazy last name. And speaking with crazy last names, the other guy we signed, David Steinmetz, I'm guessing is his last
Okay,
name.
yeah.
We're
Steinmetz
back
definitely.
on.
I think the other one is Sizerek. Maybe
Hey,
maybe the K
back.
might be
We're
silent.
we're back to Veach hating the guy that puts the names on the jerseys. We knew it was going to get back to that at some point, but Veach absolutely despises the
Gonna
name
have to
guy.
check the spelling on that like 8 times to make sure he got it right. But
Why does Veach hate the spelling guy? That's what we
so
need to be asking.
honestly think those moves, they're just depth signings. Obviously, these guys together combined for like 4 snaps ever in the NFL. They're not gonna put in significant time. I also think it's kind of a little bit of a chess move with the Orlando Brown situation, because it was reported that Orlando Brown's not going to report to camp on time. He's not going to be there when veterans report. And of course, that's because they couldn't, get a long-term deal done. And that's just, the move that he made. But I mean, they're playing chess right now with Orlando Brown. There's no reason for it, because he's ultimately got to sign the tag and play, because if he don't, he only hurts himself. But I think it's just like it's full chess move. Like right now, they're killing the pawns off. And I think that one pawn was Orlando Brown saying, "Hey, I'm not coming to camp." So they kill his pawn with theirs, saying, "Well, we're just going to sign these guys, and we have plenty of options. We'll go to Tooney. We got Jaron Christian. Like they have to. They're doing a little back and forth. So I mean, none of these signings are significant. I think it's camp bodies and depth, and probably just a little bit of slapping back at Brown.
We also got a signing at defensive end today. Azur Kamara. He actually played at Kansas. He's 23 years old, 6'4", 235. He had 3 and 9 games last year with Dallas. The key little thing about him is he was a fan favorite when they aired the Hard Knocks from last year. So everybody liked him. He's a Kansas guy, but again, I don't think he's going to come in and change anything on that line with that defensive end room. That's a
No.
camp body.
Yeah, I still don't see him being on that 53-man roster. I don't think that changes anything. So we kind of covered a little bit of this just in conversation we were having, but there are some camp battles already heating up.
Yeah, with camp kicking off today, man, we got at least 5 positions that are very heated, and there's a lot of room for debate on who may make the team or who's going to push who. We'll start off with the offensive tackle. We just talked about it a little bit. We brought in the 2 new guys. We've got Brown maybe not coming in, so you've got Wiley, you've got Kennard, you've got Roderick Johnson, you got Garen Christian. Out of all of those guys, I do believe Brown does come back, and Wiley and Kennard probably are locks to make the team. So do you think Roderick Johnson or Garen Christian could make this roster?
Christian. So I'm thinking ultimately Orlando Brown's got to play. Like I said, he's going to sign the tag. He's going to play because it would be career suicide for him not to do that. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So he will do that. He will play. I think the backup option there, I know that, Reed kind of threw out Tooney, can go over and slide over and play that. I'm with you, like you said on the last video. I don't think that they'll go with that option. I think they would probably come more of just plugging in Garen Christian. So I think he's going to get the nod there if something were to happen with Brown. And then you're looking at the right tackle position. Wiley's probably going to start getting team 1 snaps off the bat. Kennard's going to take that spot from him, definitely. And I also think that Kennard and Wiley will probably get looks at the left side in camp just to get, just to have that in their back pocket. So you see a lot of different guys getting a look there, but I think ultimately Brown will play. If he doesn't, probably be Christian.
Yeah, I don't think that Christian's that far ahead of Roderick Johnson, though, to be honest. Like, I think that Johnson could challenge him if Christian struggles a little bit. But I'm with you. I do believe Kennard eventually wins that right tackle spot. We've said that from day one. And Wiley's a good backup. He will probably get team 1 snaps. And hopefully Brown comes back. I know he's hated throughout Chiefs Kingdom, but still, I'd rather go into a season with Orlando Brown than somebody that doesn't belong in that position. Let's be honest, because they protect Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So moving on, we got some running backs. We've talked about this a little bit too. With the running back room and Clyde maybe uncertain with his injuries, who do you think has a chance to step up even more than somebody, that maybe wouldn't have got looked at here in camp? I know earlier you mentioned Ely possibly. A lot of people are throwing out Pacheco's name already. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think Pacheco is the main one. I think like I said, I think he's going to have a big part of the offense by the end of the year anyway, because I think he's going to perform and they're going to give him those opportunities. If Clyde's hurt, definitely going to be him. I think Rojo will be taking the, first team snaps, and then Pacheco would be the next man on that list. Now, like I was saying, Jaron Ely's got a big shot at maybe making this team because of his versatility. So he could make his way into the running back room. He could make his way into the wide receiver room. There's some options there. So I think that's where we're at with the running backs.
Okay, so you didn't mention a fan favorite here, and that's Derek Gore. A lot of people are saying Derek Gore, this is his time to shine now with Clyde doing this. What do you think about Derek Gore? Like, I have a feeling you don't think he's even going to make the 53-man.
I mean, he could. He definitely could because he's got the experience and he did perform when he needed to last year. I don't think Derek Gore's bad, but I don't think Derek Gore's ever going to be a number 1 running back. I don't think it's his time to shine per se. He's been around for a minute now. I think you've seen what he does at his best, because I think when he came in last year, he performed at a high level, and that's probably about as high as it gets for Derek Gore. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a 53-man roster and actually gets some snaps, but I wouldn't be expecting him to do something groundbreaking this year.
And Tayon Fleet Davis, that's another name. Don't overlook Tayon Fleet Davis. I definitely think he gets invited back for a practice squad spot, but he did score today in 7-on-7, and he's got a little bit of a skill set that even Rojo don't possess. He's a little more shifty and stuff. So that would be a crazy dark horse right there. But yeah, just do some research on Tayon Fleet Davis, everybody. Go watch some of his highlights at Maryland. He's a good running back. He looks like something Andy Reid would value. But we'll move on. We got the corner position. That is a big time camp battle going to happen at the corner position. Of course, Fenton is starting the season with a shoulder injury. He's on the PUP list. We don't know when he's really going to be back and healthy. We're saying right now that Lonnie Johnson, McDuffie, and Sneed and Fenton. Those four right there are going to take
Right.
97% of the snaps. So out of the rest of them, we think Josh Williams is probably going to make the team. Am I right? I think he's done enough in
Absolutely.
camp, even to this point, to where he probably makes the team.
He's definitely going to make the team just off of potential. Like, obviously, he's doing well in camp so far. I think he'll continue to do well. But I mean, he's just so long and like just athletic that I think he's definitely going to be on that team. I think he's the next man up after Lonnie.
Okay, so do you think out of Jalen Watson, Najee Johnson, Dandridge, Lamons, and Baker, if there's two more of them that make the squad, previously we had said Baker and Lamons. Are you still sticking with that one?
I think Baker could be on the hot seat as getting cut, honestly. Um, because I mean, you're going to get just as much out of some of those other guys as Baker for a lot lower price, and you're getting to see a younger person and let them see if they have what it takes. So, um, Lamons offers you a lot of special teams help. He's got the experience, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him. Um,
But that's
I,
also something you can get from a rookie as well. Some of that stuff Lamons does. So it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't take Jalen Watson and Najee Johnson. That may
I
be.
don't see both of them. I don't see both of them, but one of them might make the 53-man roster. If I had to pick between the two, I really don't know, to be honest. Like Watson's got more of the NFL body, but Najee Johnson is a little quicker.
So the next position battle to watch out for, obviously, wide receiver. Now that Justin Ross has put himself on the IR, well, he didn't put himself there, but he's been placed there.
Yeah, he lives on the IR.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't turn into Clyde Part 2. We got Miko, Juju, MVS, and Sky Moore as the four making the roster. We're probably going to take in six. So do we think now that IR IR Ross is there, do we think Justin Watson probably takes his spot, and then that puts between Josh Gordon and Powell as making that sixth spot?
No, I'd put Josh Gordon above Watson.
I think Josh Gordon's definitely a lock, probably. But so does that. So okay, so the last spot, do you think Justin Watson would beat Cornell Powell or Fountain, or maybe you think they take Ely in that spot?
Well, like I was saying earlier, Ely might get that nod if they think there could be some trouble with Clyde injuries and things like that. So he's definitely versatile and they could use him in a lot of different ways. And he could also return kicks, so they can use him in special teams as well. So I really like Jerry and Ely right there, to be honest, in my opinion. But Justin Watson, he's got some experience and he's been doing well. That's a possibility. Fountain, he's got the experience. He's a special teams guy. Dave Tobe likes him. He could easily take that spot. This one's really a big toss up, to be honest. Corey Coleman's out there too, and we all know that he had first round talent. He was a first round pick, and apparently, he was doing great in OTAs and everything. So he could sneak in there as well. Cornell Powell, we've talked about it in the last podcast. He's really stepped it up from last season, so maybe he squeezes in. I just honestly think there's so many options for that last spot. It's almost a toss up. I think the five that is going to be on the team is Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman, and Josh Gordon. I think those five are a lock. I think they're probably going to have six. So, I mean, honestly, it's like pick your poison with the rest of these guys because they all offer something. Me personally, I would pick Jerry and Ely if I just had to guess.
I'm leaning about 70%. I think it's his spot to lose. I think it's Justin Watson. I think it's his spot to lose at this point. If he comes out and he plays and balls out in camp and in the preseason, I think it's his to lose. He's a young guy, you know what I mean? Like, he's young, fast, he's got all the intangibles, but I'm with you. I do think Jerry Neely has a shot if you need to go in that direction. So we'll move on. This is the last one, the last camp battle. Defensive end, edge, rushing position. So we've got three locks on this roster right now. That's Frank Clark, that's George Karlaftis, and that's Mike Dana. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. We have to take at least five and maybe six. So do we take Kando? Like, is he a lock? I think Kando's probably a lock, wouldn't you say?
Probably, yeah.
So that leads between Malik Herring and Austin Edwards. And I know we haven't talked a lot about Austin Edwards. We've had some people point that out. We'll talk about him now a little bit. He's 6'3", 268. He's Division II. He went to Ferris State. He went to Waverly Senior High School. He's been on the practice squad for a whole year now. We signed him the year we went to the Super Bowl against the Bucks, I believe, is when we put him on the roster. So he should know the system by now. He's a big guy. He's athletic. He was Division II, as I said, at Ferris State, but he was the 2019 Gene Upshaw Award winner, which means the National Player of the Year in D2 for defense. So the kid's got a little bit of talent. He's probably got a lot of talent, to be honest, but once you get in the NFL, it's a different game. But does he make a push on Malik Herring if they was to take in a fifth spot, or do you think it's Malik Herring's spot to lose?
Oh, he could definitely make a push right there, right? I mean, Malik Herring, he's coming off of a long injury recovery. So Edwards, he could definitely make a push for that. I would not be surprised. A high character guy, like you said, he's got a lot of talent. He just, he hasn't been able to showcase it yet. Maybe he gets his opportunity. I know that Madden actually put him on the roster. They actually have Austin Edwards on there, and they don't. I don't want to say they don't have Herring. It was something like that, but they had him on the roster.
Yeah, I think Herring and Edwards, to be honest, we did kind of sleep on Edwards a little bit. We didn't even mention him in a few videos, but that's because we always thought the Chiefs may stop at 4 defensive ends because we said Chris Jones has the possibility of sliding out if they need him. Oh, that's not preferred, but he can. Wharton can do the same. So we didn't know if they would take 5 to 6. If they do take 5, it is between Herring and Edwards. And yeah, I think it's a toss-up at this point. And I wouldn't be surprised if Edwards didn't outplay him. So yeah, that's going to wrap up all those camp battles to watch. So leave us a comment down below and let us know who you think wins these camp battles and who do you think we need to be paying attention to because they are dark horses to make the roster.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure you get down in the comments. Let us know what you think about all the camp news, what you think about the position battles, and all that good stuff. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure that you have hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. If you're watching, you have not subscribed yet, make sure to get down there and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts. We just hit over 700 today, I believe. So we're getting there. We just need your help. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you tell your friends, family, and other Chiefs fans where to go watch some good Chiefs content on YouTube. And that'll do it for today, and we will catch you next time. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight.